Welcome, geeks and freaks, to this week's Wrestle Geeks roundup of TNA Impact. I'm the modern day Viking Jay Scriven, and I am joined by the geek of geeks, Trevor Furr. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. We had another awesome episode of Impact.
We did indeed. We did indeed. I've got to say, it turning back to TNA is really just, it feels like a rebirth, and it's fantastic.
It's what they needed. People are talking TNA right now.
Yes.
So this is going to be the recap and review for January 25th episode of Impact. When it comes to Explosion, I just want to say a little thing of we are thinking of doing a micro episode for Explosion. We'll review the first couple episodes, and if Explosion ends up being not interesting, ends up being kind of like how BTI ended up, then we might end up dropping it.
Yeah, let's hope it's not like that, but
I really hope it's not.
I hope it's more of an A show than a throwaway show.
I'm looking forward to the Gia Miller segment around the ring with Gia Miller.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, so we'll get straight into it. We went straight into a recap of Hard to Kill and the last episode of TNA.
Yep.
And then we went into the new opening video. Excuse me. The new opening video, and with the Cross the Line theme song, which just so amazing. So amazing.
It was nice. It was really nice.
Yeah. And we go straight into a match like Impact like to do. We go into ABC coming out, Chris Bay versus Kevin Knight.
Yeah, we hadn't seen Kevin Knight in a little bit.
Yeah.
So it starts off with some back and forth head-based chain wrestling. Knight does hit an impressive springboard arm drag early on. At some point, Bay slips to the apron, rolls off Knight's back, and rebounds off the ropes. But then Knight is able to use that momentum for a power slam and immediately follows it up with a really nice leaping frog splash.
Yeah. I really liked at the beginning where they had that show of respect, shaking hands and stuff, and they really, yeah, so it was really good.
Yeah, good, solid beginning to the match. Later on, Bay gets up and gets an up and over onto the apron. Knight uses his elbow to knock him to the ground, but as Knight goes for a dive, Bay slips back into the ring, avoiding it just in time. Knight leaps to the apron, which again, impressive. Like the commentators mentioned his vertical leaping ability, and yes, it's worth noting. After leaping onto the apron, Bay uses the top rope for a neck breaker, and then hits him with his own dive.
Yeah.
They roll back in. Bay goes for a cutter, but Knight reverses it into a backslide. Bay kicks out. Knight hits a great drop kick as Bay rebounds off the ropes. He follows it up with a corner splash, gets thrown up and over himself to the apron, and after he lands a splash in the corner, and then when he goes for his second one, he gets thrown up and over to the apron. And he's able to hit a really vicious springboard lariat after this. After reversing a suplex into a schoolboy, Bay hits a spin kick, Shelton Benjamin style. Knight is whipped to the ropes, leapfrogs over Bay for a lariat, hits a super kick, followed by a brainbuster. Bay kicks out of a pin. Knight climbs to the corner for a frog splash, but Bay rolls out of the way just in time again. Knight gets sent to the apron one more time. Bay hits a kick combo, leaving Knight hanging in between the second and third rope. From here, he does a second rope elbow drop to the center of Knight's back. And he follows it up with the Art of Finesse for the 1-2 sweet.
I've got to say, the Art of Finesse is every time I see it, I just think it's probably one of the best cutters out there at the moment.
Absolutely. He's not the only one who does the move, but it's the way he does it. It's so
Yes.
clean every time.
And we have this match. It literally, again, like they have the last 2 weeks, they've shown what the X division is. They've shown why TNA is what TNA was. Yeah. And that they've moved away from Impact Wrestling. And as much as I loved Impact Wrestling, like this has re-sparked my passion for TNA, and I'm so hyped for what's to come.
Same. Starting with the X division every time seems to be a no-brainer go-to.
Yes.
After the match, ABC don't even have time to celebrate whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
The grizzled young vets swarm the ring. They hit Ace with a magic killer, and then grit your teeth on Chris Bay. They trash talk for a little bit, and then they raise up ABC's tag titles.
Yes. It was very good. You know, Grizzled Young Veterans, I really hope they are signing with TNA. I just think that adds that extra star power and that a great tag team to the TNA tag teams. If you look at Motor City Machine Guns, you know, all I can think of is how they are, you know, they can be the OGs of the tag team division and really push these, I don't want to say young teams because obviously that people know them, but to give this break to some great tag teams that TNA have got.
Well, to me, the Grizzled Young Vets are, it's like they're similar to FTR in a way. Like they have that older style of tag team wrestling to them.
Yeah.
They're heavy strike oriented. They're brutal, but they have that those tactics that old tag team wrestling is known for. That's what I like about them. So I can't wait.
That's what worries me about them not going to be staying with TNA very long. I feel like they're going to go off and face FTR.
I mean, look, I'd watch that match no matter what. It's great. It'd be great.
Completely. Yep. But you know, So after the match, we get a hype video for Ash by Elegance.
Yep.
I really struggle not to call her Deanna Pro. No, not Deanna Pro. Oh my, Dana Brooke. Oh my god. I really struggled to call her the right name in the first place.
I see that.
Yeah. But it was just a very, you know, a video of just showing how elegant she is, I suppose. You want to say that?
It's just more of what we got last week. Just keep building the hype.
Yeah. And then we get a little quick recap of what happened with Kaz and Young and the Grizzled Young Veterans last week, and how Kaz turned on Eric Young. And then we go to the backstage segment where Kazarian is talking about where he'll explain when it's his time to explain, and he feels like next week is the time to explain. And then Rich Swann comes and says, listen, I just want to talk with you. I want to know what's going on with you. Kaz says to Swann, look at yourself right now. Look at where you are and where you've dropped to. And then as Kaz walks off, AJ Francis.
No, AJ Cheez-It, it's fine.
Yeah. He then comes over to Rich Swann and just says, listen, I saw you have a match with Joe Henry next week on Explosion, which already they're hyping that Explosion, which I can't criticize. And I want to be in your corner. Swann says he's good, and he walks off. Yeah. I just wish that AJ Cheez-It had been eating Cheez-Its at that point as well. You know, like he should just always have Cheez-Its on him now.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. But no, I agree. They're sowing seeds, like story seeds, for Explosion, and I'm like, well, that's promising right off the bat.
Yes. And then we go into Dirty Dango and Oleg. I can't say Prudius. With
he's a
Alpha
prude.
Bravo. Yeah, because he's a prude. With Alpha Bravo versus Dante King and Damian Drake. So obviously they're just enhancement talents they hired him for the night.
Yeah. It's nice. Give people a little bit of an opportunity to get their names out there, right?
Yep. There's so many wrestlers that have been in that situation, so...
Yeah. So it starts like it always does. Alpha Bravo holds the mic up for Dirty Dango, and Dango says his line of, man, do I hate pro wrestling. So what I love about, I just love how stupid this match ends up being. Like Dango goes and sits on a chair that Alpha Bravo took out for him, and he's on his phone as Oleg is fighting the two jobbers. And so it starts with Oleg, he picks up King and just drops him. Like nothing pretty about it, no moves, just drops him. Drake tags himself in, climbs the corner. Oleg just flings him across the ring and starts choking him on the ropes in front of Dango. He hits a bear hug suplex, which is not used enough. And then tags in Dango, who's still on his phone. Dango hits the reverse DDT elbow drop for the win. I don't know what he's calling it. I don't know the technical name for that move either.
Yeah.
But like it's a really quick, short match just to show you exactly what Dango's about right now. So Oleg can just like brutalize people. And what I absolutely love is the ref freaking out the entire time. Just like, what are you doing? Dango, come on!
Yeah, no, it was a very funny match. Just a quick squash match with two unknown wrestlers, putting over this storyline. I look forward to see where it's going. It was very entertaining. The fact that he's on the phone the whole time outside, and as he gets into the ring, he just chucks it to Alpha Bravo and then pins him. It was great.
He stayed on the phone for a while. He was kicking the guy in the head, and he was just still on the phone.
Yeah. So after that match, we get Grizzled Young Veterans doing a promo saying they've come to TNA to win titles, and they never got pinned at Hard to Kill, so they want their shot. Santina Morelli interrupts them and says that the Grizzled Young Veterans say this is not a joke. We are the best, and we've come here to just basically show you and show up everyone on your roster. Bay and Austin then come in for revenge, and Santina sets up a 2 out of 3 match series. The first team to get a best of 3 series. The first team to get 2 points wins the title, and this starts next week.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that's a great idea.
I'm very excited for that too. My only issue with this is I feel like AEW have used these best of series too much for my liking personally.
I can understand that.
But I think it being I just hope it's not just standard tag matches. I hope we have like 2 standard tag matches and something to finish it off, something a bit more exciting. Maybe no surrender, something that's going to make it pop.
We need some kind of stipulation. Make it a ladder match or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, so after that, we go straight into another promo, which is Motor City Machine Gun and Okada. Alex Shelley says the system may see themselves as the perfect idea of what TNA is, but they're not Motor City Machine Gun. Saban says, look at the history of TNA and you'll see what happens tonight when Motor City Machine Guns team with Okada. And then Okada says, TNA will see the Rainmaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, clean little promo. That's all it needed to be.
It was very, hyping the match ready for tonight. We'll talk about that when we get to the match. Absolutely. But yeah, it was enjoyable. You got for what you needed from it. And then we went into Trinity's rematch with Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, KO, the Knockouts World Title match, Trinity versus Jordynne Grace. Before I go into the breakdown, I do want to just say right off the bat that I do think this match was much better than the first one.
Yes, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. So Trinity comes firing out of the gate with some heavy strikes and quick pins before trying to get the Starstruck locked in. But Grace is able to get to the ropes for a break. Then you get more heavy and constant strikes from Trinity, not letting up at all. Grace uses the corner to leap over Trinity twice and hits a spine buster before throwing Trinity to the outside. Trinity uppercuts Grace on a dive, getting her caught up in the ropes. Then she uses the turnbuckle on Grace's head before climbing the corner. Grace knocks her off the top to the floor, then starts to brutalize Trinity out on the outside. She's slamming her into the side of the ring. Just beats her around a little bit with some heavy strikes of her own. Throws Trinity back in, goes for a pin, and Trinity kicks out at a 1. Trinity tries to fight back, but Grace reverses a suplex with her own, then hits a short arm lariat. Trinity fights out of the Juggernaut driver, takes some heavy hits again, then lands a super kick and a split-legged face plant. Grace reverses a hanging neck breaker by just holding onto the corner ropes, then hits a Vader bomb on Trinity. And Grace has a great Vader bomb.
Yes.
I really like it. Grace attempts for, I think it's a vertebreaker, but Trinity fights out, hits a super kick, and then sets up Grace in the ropes, locking in her head with her legs, and spikes Grace's head into the mat face first. Grace fights out of a full Nelson bomb, then hits a superplex, directly followed by the Juggernaut jackhammer, which no letting go in between that. She holds on from after the superplex to transition to the other move. Trinity's able to kick out again, which I will admit, I kind of thought maybe that might be the end of the match already. Grace starts to trash talk, asking Trinity if she really wants this or not, because at this point, Trinity can barely stand. This gets Trinity to fire back up. She hits the full Nelson bomb this time with a really clean pin, as transitioning it into a really clean pin. Grace kicks out, reverses a suplex with a spinning back fist. Trinity fights out of the driver again and gets thrown into the corner, then fights out of a muscle buster to hit a sunset flip. They do back and forth 1 counts before they each get a 2. Then Trinity locks in the Starstruck, but Grace is able to instantly roll her up onto her back to get a 1, 2, 3 and retains her title.
It was a perfect way to send Trinity out, like a good farewell. Got to say, watching these two in this match, not only did I feel like they had great chemistry together then, I felt like they enjoyed the match. They were enjoying fighting each other.
I think I think the pressure of Hard to Kill got to them. Yes.
But it really, it showed in their performance tonight that they were having fun.
Yeah. So they shake hands. They have that moment of respect between each other. Then Jay Vidal and Savannah Evans storm the ring. Giselle Shaw eventually comes out as well. Uses the big X from the Ultimate X match on both of them before hitting Trinity with the denouement, which is a running knee strike. Mm-hmm. And for our non-French speakers, denouement means destitution.
Ah.
Yeah, I figured you'd enjoy that. I was like, I'll translate that one for you.
I like that.
It's good.
Yeah.
And Giselle Shaw, I'm excited to see where it goes. I want to see her versus Jordynne Grace.
My only issue with this is I felt like I've just had the same ending twice.
Yes.
But I feel like a lot of the show tonight, with the promos and everything, kind of just mimicked each other.
This episode was formulaic.
Yes. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was a good match.
I think the match was so good that the fact that the ending was the post-match beatdown was very similar to what we just got with the tag match. Yeah. The other match, didn't bother me just because of how good the match was.
Yeah. And then we have a promo by the System. Edward starts talking off about how they're the standard bearers of TNA. Maya says the System goes worldwide, is going worldwide and will be putting an end to the New Japan legend Okada. Moose says the formula works. all you have to do is trust the system.
I really like the line, dude.
I love it.
I'm really liking the system, to be honest. I'm all for them.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We'll talk about the system a bit more in their match.
Of course.
But yeah. And then we go into Josh saying today's a good day, saying that he's had this amazing match with Will Ospreay, and that for him to conquer the world, he needed to beat that match. They got a 5.5 rating match.
I'm not big on the match rating system thing. To me, it's very it's just such a personal thing. And
Yes,
it really comes down to your taste. But it's cool to see them get that acknowledgement for how amazing the match was.
Yes, I agree. And but to me, like the whole rating match thing it's not just it's one person's opinion, but it's just his whole opinion on the whole of wrestling. So to me, for TNA to finally get another, that's 2 5-star rated matches in less than 4 weeks that TNA have had.
Yeah.
And it's just fantastic. I'm really happy with it. But anyway, so he's there saying what's next. I honestly thought this was a Goldberg thing when he's saying what's next, and he kept repeating next. And I'm like, is Goldberg coming in for his retirement?
That's wishful thinking on your part. It's just.
I'm not sure thinking. It is. I don't want to see Goldberg anymore. Like, go back 10 years ago, and I'll be like, yeah, Goldberg, give me Goldberg. But
yeah, fair.
You get Alan Angels interrupts him, and Ian basically announces he's going to have this new talk show called The Soundcheck, and Josh Alexander is going to be his first guest. I'm pretty sure that's next week.
I think so too, yeah. We'll see how that goes. I find talk shows are really hit and miss. So
you either have fantastic ones or just boring ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Emma probably had the best. No, she was called Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah,
she had Dashwood. The best. Her talk show was fantastic in Impact.
I liked it because the idea was her guest was supposed to interview her.
Yes. Yes. And I think that change on it was good. I look forward to seeing how this goes. It's either going to be a couple of them and then we get bored of them, or it's going to be something that can really lead to some great matches, like the KO show on WWE. But then we go into the Rascals. Zachary Wentz comes out and he's with Trey Miguel, and he's going to be facing Nic Nemeth. Now, one thing the commentator said, and I'm not sure this is 100% true, but this is Nic Nemeth's first match outside of the WWE.
On American soil.
On American soil.
I'm not sure if he had a match in New Japan yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that this is his first match on American soil outside of WWE.
Yeah.
I can't attest to New Japan. It might be. So, Nemeth has the advantage for the first little bit with some chain wrestling, but the moment they swap to striking, Wentz actually takes over and is fairly dominant. Wentz attempts a super kick in a very taunting manner to Nemeth, but Nemeth counters it with a nice drop kick. Wentz misses with a handspring knee strike, but Miguel grabs Nemeth's leg, giving Wentz the opportunity for another knee. That one knocks Nemeth to the floor, and Wentz follows it up with a dive. Wentz distracts the ref, and Miguel starts choking out Nemeth on the bottom rope. Wentz then keeps the pressure on until Nemeth fires back with 2 lariats, a corner splash, and then a neck breaker before he lands a leaping elbow drop, which that was the heart attack. I missed the name that they gave it this time. I think they called it shot to the heart, which would be still very thematic for what he's doing with his gimmick. Wentz reverses a super kick. He reverses a super kick with a roll-up and then dodges a corner spear, sending Nemeth into the turnbuckle. Another roll-up, this time holding the tights, but Nemeth kicks out again. Nemeth reverses a headlock driver with a sunset, then reverse pins before Nemeth hits the jumping DDT. Wentz counters a super kick, lands the handspring knee, and then a half Nelson Uranagi, I think. I'm not sure what to call that move, but there's definitely a half Nelson as a setup, and then it looks like he lands similar to an Uranagi.
Yeah.
He goes for a pin. Nemeth kicks out. Wentz loses it at the ref at this point, gets really frustrated. He tries for another headlock driver, but Nemeth reverses it with a back roll for a pin. Wentz is able to kick out. Nemeth hits the danger zone, winning his debut match. Miguel runs in almost.
Wait, 1 second. Can I just interrupt you?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, before we get into that next bit, I just want to say how this match showed that Nic Nemeth is not just going to run through the TNA roster. Like,
I agree.
And it seems like he's had to change his. To me, it felt like he won by luck. Like he was able to hit his finisher, the danger zone, by luck, because he had to change his style. He's not used to fighting outside of WWE, and that's how it came across to me. And I've got to say, I loved it. I loved this match.
Also, Miguel didn't get too involved in the match, only a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like that was a major factor either. So I do agree with you. It looks like this was a hard-fought victory.
Yeah, and it really did. It didn't just go, look, this is an ex-WWE star, we're just going to put him over. He actually had such a good match, an enjoyable match. You know, it wasn't a 5-star match, but it was enjoyable, and it showed him that, oh my God, I've come out of the universe and I've come into this, and this is different to what I'm used to. This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No time for No, it's good. No time for celebration. Miguel runs in and also ends up taking a danger zone. But out of nowhere, Macklin rushes in, beats on Nemeth, goes for a KIA, but Nemeth is able to reverse it into another danger zone. So we have 3 post-match beatdown angles in a row, but at least this time the babyface came out on top.
Yes. But again, I was just kind of like, it's rinse and repeat, baby. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't have made that move. Miguel running in made perfect sense.
Yes.
Macklin running in, I wouldn't have made that call. But
no, I agree. Macklin again didn't look too strong coming out of this, but Dolcig, Nic Nemeth did look very strong coming out of this. I really enjoyed it. So then we go into Crazy Steve and this kind of backstage promo where he's talking about Tommy Dreamer and how he's beat the Innovator of Violence and he was following him and now he doesn't need to follow him, and look where that's got him. It's got him the title, and he's going to carve a scar into the history of TNA wrestling. So the whole way through this promo, we get like glitching kind of, and then Rhino walks on, and it just instantly stops. And Rhino says, "I don't like what you're talking about. If you don't want to take the advice, then maybe I'll teach you a lesson." And he pushes Steve into a wall. He walks off. Crazy Steve starts laughing, and it starts glitching again.
Yeah, I did enjoy the glitching while it was happening. The swapping from a red filter to a blue filter to all the different camera angles, zooming up on the title suddenly, showing us like the graded steps. Like it was really good, really well done. I did find it jarring when Rhino showed up, and it just I was like, oh, what's this? I don't like that.
And this is another promo where someone's interrupted someone else. So we had Grizzled Young Veterans get interrupted. We've had Josh Alexander get interrupted, and now we've had Crazy Steve get interrupted.
I made a note that the only promos that didn't get interrupted really were the Machine Guns and Okada, and then the System.
The Decay one.
Yes.
Which is what we're about to go into now. You know, Decay saying how TNA is reborn, and they've had to reform to what they once were. They used their old bodies to carry on while they revived themselves. And then the one line I really liked it is, from here on out, we are doing things our way, the Decay way.
Yeah.
The way of Decay, sorry. Really enjoyed it. It was very nice. It wasn't wasn't so much of a promo as a hype video and showing them, you know. Yeah, it was very good. It's nice to see Decay back together
Absolutely.
as Decay.
Yes, exactly. I like how Jessica was saying she had to go back and tap into what made her her, and like
Yeah,
I just it was just good promo, just
yeah,
really good promo.
yeah, enjoyable. And then we went into Dana Luna and Jody Threat versus MK Ultra.
Yes.
Now, one thing I want to say before you go into the breakdown,
Yeah.
wasn't it us talking about the in the Ultimate X match how Dana Luna and Jody Threat would make a good tag team?
We mentioned how much of a good tag team they'd make, and we also brought up how we'd love to see them face each other.
Yeah,
So we got one. I mean, I'm
we
like,
got one.
if we couldn't get them as a tag team, I would love to have seen them face each other. But hey, tag team, I'm more than happy. They're both powerhouses,
Yes.
so it's cool to see. Luna and Masha start the match. Luna's able to outpower Masha, then does some quick tags to keep the pressure on. Kelly trips and holds Luna in place for a diving stomp from Masha. After a tag, MK Ultra goes high and low for a team move. They then start to quick tag, but some miscommunication gives Luna the opening she needs to dodge, which makes MK Ultra end up kneeing each other. Luna lariats Kelly and tags Jody, who runs wild with lariats, pump kicks, and eventually she ends up hitting both knees into Kelly's back, followed by a suplex. Jody climbs the corner. Masha causes a distraction, allowing Kelly to toss her to the mat. Then Ultra hits the double knee strike, followed by the double pile driver for the win. Very, 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 very quick match.
Yes.
But it shows us why MK Ultra were dominant. And Luna and Jody did not look weak in this match either. Like, even though they lost, they looked really good.
They did. I think it was really good how, I think Luna and Threat, MK Ultra, Decay, that's starting to build up the Knockouts tag team division there.
Absolutely.
And that is just a couple more tag teams in there, proper tag teams is so much better than just throw. And I know Dana Luna and Jody Threat right now are just a team thrown together, but they worked really well together.
They have real
had
chemistry.
Tag team moves. Yeah, they worked really well together.
Yeah.
And MK Ultra versus Decay. This storyline's going to be good. It's going to be dark.
It's going to.
Yeah.
They did after the match. They celebrated for a little bit, and then MK Ultra decides to attack Luna and Jody again. They end up hitting their finisher on Luna as well.
Yeah. So that's both beat down.
Yeah, but this one is a little different. I feel like this one.
Same but different.
It's not somebody running in.
Yes.
It's not a run in. It's literally just MK Ultra just being like, "Oh, Luna, you want to come into the ring and help your friend? We're gonna put you down too."
Yeah.
So to me, this is vicious. This is brutal. It's not the same. I will say, Knockouts Tag Division has the automatic, what's automatically difficult for them is that there are not a bunch of women's tag teams just established on the indie scene. It's not a thing. Women's tag team wrestling is not extremely prevalent. I think NWA has a women's tag belt now, but there aren't very many, unless you have an all women's division, you don't really get women's tag belts.
Yes, I completely agree, and I think the fact that they're making these tag teams, it's just a few weeks ago I said we should get rid of the Knockouts tag teams and have a second, have a Knockout X Division title.
Yeah.
But TNA Scott D'Amore has literally shown me, trust in me, and I'll show you why we've got a tag team, a Knockouts tag team title, and I put my faith in Scott, best booker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we transition to the main event, I have one more thing I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
I did see a little video online from Kylie King.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why she hasn't been around lately is that she's currently suffering from an injury.
Yeah.
And she should be back in a few months. She's still signed on with TNA.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And then we go into the system versus Motor City Machine Gun and Okada. And before we go into this match, I've just got to say the X Division title looks fantastic, but all the titles, Moose's world title looks fantastic, and I didn't realize it was so big until I saw it on Moose. Yeah, and that's what I like. I like it even more now seeing Moose wearing it.
It's grandiose in the right way.
Yeah.
I like the system song.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little video package they had, like the little the Titantron video they have for them, showing all three logos like that. Really nice. Also, I want to bring up the music and the footage for Kazuchika Okada was his New Japan music and his New Japan footage.
Talking about that, Okada came out and it felt like a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like the crowd, it felt like a huge deal. Now, one thing I was worried about Okada coming over is people aren't going to know who he is. And that's because, you know, the casual wrestling fans, but you can tell there, it felt like a massive deal.
I don't feel like TNA fans are casual wrestling fans.
I agree.
At least not this crowd.
Yeah. One thing I did like as well is as Okada got into the ring, he touches the TNA sign out of respect.
Yeah. I did like how the commentators did bring up how, like, Okada's been very vocal about trash talking TNA for a really long time, and he had nothing good to say about the company.
But we're a new TNA.
Yeah, Japan has a hard time differentiating between that. So Shelley and Edwards start the match with some basic chain wrestling. It looks like it's about to instantly break down as everybody storms the ring, but the referee is able to assert dominance and take control right away. Which, again, this is the same ref that made the call for the table spot last week.
Yep.
So I like how they're doing. They're not afraid to assert their refs' dominance in TNA. Refs are authority figures. Make sure they feel that way. Good job. So, Shelley and Sabin start off by focusing on Eddie's left arm with constant tags and constant little jabs at it. After poking Sabin in the eyes, Edwards is able to tag out to Myers. Sabin hits a corner spring cutter and an impressive arm drag, then starts to focus on Myers' arm as well with Shelley. Myers slams Sabin down and tags in Moose, and the crowd starts instantly chanting for Okada.
That was amazing.
So Sabin just turns around, tags him in.
I want to see that match more than anything now.
I agree. Moose seems to have control until he eventually misses a spear in the corner, hitting the turnbuckle. Okada attempts the Rainmaker, but Moose is able to slip out and tags Edwards. Then Okada tags over to Shelley right away. Motor City Machine Guns now focus on Eddie's left knee instead of his left arm with a bunch of tag moves. Okada also joins in on Edwards' knee. At some point, Moose distracts the ref, which lets Myers hit a boot to the side of Shelley's head, and he drags him to the floor using the side of the ring, while Moose targets Okada and Eddie targets Sabin. The coordination of the system in this match was superb. The system takes control over Shelley, shutting down all of his offense. Moose dumps Shelley to the outside, then distracts the ref again as Eddie uses the barricade on him. Moose and Eddie they fake a tag, but the ref contests it because he didn't see it. So again, ref asserting control and dominance, but this time, that gives Alicia Edwards a chance to choke Shelley on the ropes. Myers and Eddie hit a double leg sweep before Moose tags in and hits some very loud chops on Shelley. Shelley tries to fight back, goes for a sliced bread. Moose stops it, but Shelley is able to slip out the back from a power slam, I believe. And then he takes out Myers and Eddie from the apron before planting Moose face first into the turnbuckle and crawls for a tag. But Eddie takes out both Sabin and Okada, stopping the tag from happening. Myers holds Shelley on the ropes, but he slips out just in time, making Eddie connect with Myers and letting him finally make a tag out to Sabin.
Mm-hmm.
Sabin gets... This is the hot tag moment in the match. Because Sabin comes in, he knocks Moose off the apron, hits two diving lariats on Eddie and Myers. Hits a double lariat on Eddie and Myers at the same time, before hitting Moose with a PK from the apron, pulls down the top rope to send Myers to the floor, and super kicks Eddie, followed by a corner spring tornado DDT. Eddie stops a cradle shock, but Shelley runs in for some tag team interference. Then the machine guns assist each other and hit a cutter on Myers. Sabin goes for a shock again. Eddie tears at his face. Shelley makes the save again, but Eddie's able to slip out in time, making Sabin connect with Shelley this time. This gives Eddie the opening he needs to hit a blue thunder bomb on Sabin. Myers sets Sabin up on the turnbuckle for a double team move, but Sabin's able to fight out of it and then dives through a huge crossbody, hitting them both. Quickly after this, he sets up another tornado DDT using Myers' face as the momentum for the spin on it. Eddie tags out to Moose, and Sabin tags out to Okada again. They hit the ropes. Okada knocks Moose back, but not down. Then hits a big DDT. Eddie and Myers run in to help Moose, but Okada fends them off. Hits Myers with a flapjack, which you don't see that often anymore. Then hits a white noise style neckbreaker on Moose.
That was incredible.
It was really nice.
It looks so good.
After a power slam and diving elbow drop to Moose, Okada signals for the Rainmaker. The camera spot was a little late, but they did it. I just wanted to know if they'd do it, right?
Yeah, they did it.
Moose ducks the Rainmaker, but gets hit by a drop kick, which Okada has amazing drop kicks. I love them. But then Moose hits a drop kick with more elevation than Okada's. That blew my mind. Okada tags to Shelley. Moose tags to Eddie. Eddie takes a super kick. Myers interferes, but gets rocked right away. Eddie hits the backpack stunner as Shelley... Eddie hits the backpack stunner. As Shelley kicks out, crowd starts chanting F the system. Sabin saves Shelley from a Tiger Driver. Moose tries to take them both on and ends up taking a double super kick. Myers gets a stealth tag on Eddie while the machine guns are pulling their classic combination on him. Myers takes out Sabin with a leaping knee, then hits Shelley with an enziguri, gets ready for the roster cut, but Okada intercepts it with a drop kick and then hits the Rainmaker on Myers, setting Myers up to take the shell shock, giving Motor City Machine Guns and Okada the win.
So, well done for that. That was a great breakdown. I don't like the fact that the system lost.
I'm not a big fan of the idea either.
I feel like it's too early in the storyline for them to start losing. I've got to say, Okada, I hope he signs a TNA, even if it's just 6 months, a year. Give him that chance over here to, have those matches before. Obviously he's gonna want that big money sign in WWE or AEW, more than likely AEW. But come on, let's have him for 6 months a year. You know, put this Okada versus Moose on. You know, that would be Okada versus Shelley. These would Okada versus Josh Alexander. These would be incredible matches. Yeah.
Okada
I want
Alexander
these matches.
would be sick.
Yes. and I just hope this isn't the last time we see him in TNA. I hope he doesn't quickly sign off with one of the big companies. Again, the match was entertaining. It wasn't a 5-star match. It wasn't as good as last week's main event, but it was still a good match. I just feel the wrong people won.
I can agree with that. It's weird. It's like, if I look at Moose, I'm like, Moose should not be losing. But if I look at Eddie and Myers, I'm like, yeah, they can lose.
I agree. I feel like Eddie and Myers are with Moose to get those losses.
Kind of.
And Alicia Edwards, through that match, for the first few minutes of the match, I'm like, what crowd member is shouting, I want to punch them in the face? And then I realised it was Alicia Edwards, and it just made me hate her that a little bit more. She would not shut the hell up.
She was very, very vocal. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little too much. A little bit too much. But I mean, that's kind of the point too, right? She's there to distract the baby faces by constantly screaming and yelling.
Yes. And then, so have you got anything else to say?
I have nothing else to say about the match.
Fabulous. And then we go into the TNA logo to end the show, which fantastic. And then we get a little promo from Mustafa Ali talking about how TNA's changed, how he's changed, and I am Mustafa Ali, and I approve this message.
I am so freaking happy, dude. I have been saying since the moment Mustafa Ali was let go from WWE, I'm like, I want him in the X Division. I want him in the X Division. I want him in the X Division now. Like, I don't care about 90-day no compete, all that crap. I want him in the X Division.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I think that's where he's going to go. We talked about the X changing and stuff, and I feel
he's the
like
X
that's
Factor.
where he's going to go. He's the X Factor.
He's the X Factor. I'm like, ooh.
And that's where he's got to go. He's going to go into X Division.
Yeah.
My only problem is he's not been announced for any of the shows that are being recorded at the moment. So how long are we going to wait for him?
I think there's just going to be a nice build-up with promos, maybe him making an appearance but not wrestling.
Yes.
That kind of stuff. Honestly, it looks like he's going to have, like, because of the whole, like, I approve this message, instantly I think of like a candidate, like a presidential candidate style gimmick. So I feel like he could come in with like a cabinet, and he could come in with other people behind him very easily. Or maybe we'll see him recruiting people to his own faction.
From New Japan as well.
Oh, I mean, here's the thing. Matt Riddle, Mustafa Ali, and Nic Nemeth are all together in New Japan.
Yeah.
So, who's to say Nemeth might not go heel and end up joining Mustafa Ali? Because if you have a presidential gimmick, I'm sorry, you're going to be a heel.
Yes. Yes.
There's no way.
But overall, the TNA Impact show, again, knocked out the park.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was better than anything AEW I watched this week.
Yes. Yes. I'm talking about other shows. I had to watch Royal Rumble last night.
Yep. How'd it go?
I really enjoyed it, mate. I'm not going to lie. The whole show had 4 matches on it. Bearing in mind 2 of those matches are Royal Rumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go just a quick little talk about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Jordynne Grace appeared as... Okay, first of all, Naomi, Trinity, came in as number 2. WWE not only said about how she went off, they mentioned about her being the TNA Knockouts World Champion. Yeah, they hyped how good she was in TNA. Jordynne Grace came out in number 5, looked like a beast. Yeah, like she didn't eliminate anyone, but I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she looked fantastic. She lasted in that match for 20 minutes.
That's pretty good.
It's really good. Overall, the women's Royal Rumble is I love the Royal Rumble. It's one of my favorite premium live events of every year. You never know what's going to happen. This women's Royal Rumble is probably one of the best Royal Rumbles I've ever watched. Like, it was fantastic. You had Jade Cargill debut at number 28. Bailey won it, which was good. Trinity lasted an hour and 2 minutes, and then only got beat by Bailey, who won the thing in an hour and 3 minutes.
Oh my God! Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah, and it was just so good. And then so the next match was a Roman Reigns match, which it was a little bit slow to have AJ Styles, Randy Orton, LA Knight, and Roman Reigns. It was slow. Roman Reigns won. And then there was a part, Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul. First of all, I don't like Logan Paul. Second of all, why is he such a good wrestler?
I know! It bothers me how good he is.
Frustrates me how good he is. Yeah, and then, so Logan Paul gets some brass knuckles. Yeah, Kevin Owens takes it off him, punches Logan Paul, pins Logan Paul. The referee counts 1, 2. Looks like he's going to see 3. Notices the brass knuckles on Kevin Owens, so the referee stops counting and disqualifies Kevin Owens. And I was like, that's there. And then you have the men's Royal Rumble, which was okay. It was a bit boring. Andre debuted, Cody Rhodes won. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk had a little match at the end just between the two of them. The moment that I knew Cody Rhodes was gonna win was when Punk said, "I didn't wait 10 years to lose to Dusty's kid," and he goes to throw him out, and it was like, okay.
Well, you're gonna lose now.
Yep. After that, after the thing, we had they have a press conference now. I don't know where they got that idea from.
I wonder.
But Triple H is talking about how Jordynne Grace is incredible, how they're not going to say they've opened the forbidden door because he thinks that's stupid, but he's happy to work with TNA. The one thing, the whole show, R-Truth, I love comedy wrestling. R-Truth comes out in the Women's Rumble, at number 24.
Oh my God.
He runs down to the ring and he looks around and he says to the ref, "Where's the men?" Yeah. And then he gets to number 24 in the Men's Rumble. He runs out and he stands on the side waiting to be tagged in by Dominic Mysterio. And R-Truth is just so funny. If we're going to get any WWE star, I want R-Truth to come over and be like, "This isn't the right logo." You know what I mean? Like just have him really confused, like, "Where's Hunter?" Like, or confuse one of the wrestlers with a different wrestler. I just think it'd be really funny.
I mean, he did wrestle in TNA before going to WWE, right? So I mean, like, there's history, there's precedence, right? So and just have him be like, "Who's this? Who's that?" Like, just having him be completely lost and confused and not know why he's there would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think it would be very funny. I don't want a working relationship where, maybe a match or two between stars, you can make those dream matches and be that fantasy booker, but just these little skits would be hilarious. It doesn't need to be anything more than just a little skit.
Let AJ do a match.
Oh, obviously we want AJ to do a match.
Yeah.
We want AJ to do a match.
Yeah.
But other than that, oh my God, don't, because I want AJ Styles versus Josh Alexander. I want AJ Styles versus Moose. Those two matches are the ones I want. And then one last thing I just want to pick your brain about is, we've already spoke about it, but I've just thought it'd be good to do it on here. WWE getting the Netflix deal. Yeah. So over in the UK, we're getting SmackDown, NXT, Raw, and pay-per-views on Netflix. Yeah. Which I'm happy about that. But the thing that's getting me is what's going to happen to Monday Night Raw. Like, people will watch it on Netflix whenever they fancy. Yeah. And this means ratings don't matter anymore.
Yeah, not really.
What happens to Monday Night what happens? Do TNA get that USA network or a big network Monday night spot?
That would be interesting. I think Netflix might experiment with the concept of having something live before you're allowed watching the playback.
No, it's going to be live in the UK on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Netflix doesn't do live content like that.
Yes.
So I think that's part of it. Netflix is experimenting with that. The concept of, because we have shows like Crunchyroll with anime does simulcasting. So you can watch shows as they're airing in Japan.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, this is something similar to that, but just a little different.
But at Amazon Prime, so that shows a lot of football.
Yeah.
And so we can literally watch the match on Amazon Prime. The moment it stops, I can literally just replay the match.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just like to. And does this mean all the sponsorship money that WWE get? They've just, let's face it, they've got a $5 billion deal for 5 years. It's a 10-year contract, and they've got $5 billion for 5 years. They don't need that sponsorship money.
I'm going to be honest. I think WWE is going to be losing money in the end.
Do you think?
Yeah, because first of all, airing Raw in Canada, that's two different deals, because they have the French Canadian and they have the English Canadian version of both shows. So it airs on two different networks at the same time, and each network is paying a good amount of money for that show. And then you apply that to every single country that airs Raw live. I think in the end, they might end up like, are they making more money from the United States? If you look at just the States, yes. But if you look at it from like a global standpoint, I think Raw might end up making less money this way. It could be like the WWE network was back in the day. It's a calculated risk. Lose money now to make more later.
The thing is, so in the UK, to watch WWE, you need not just like 1 or 2 subscriptions. You need like, it's like a high tier. It's like £45 a month for me to be able to watch WWE.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, but Netflix is something I have, and I can't say I don't know anyone who hasn't got Netflix.
Yeah, it's at that point, right, where like everybody just kind of has it.
Yeah, and that to me, that's going to bring so many more viewers to WWE in the UK, you know, and like when TNA was on free TV in the UK with their pay-per-views, with their weekly shows, it had the biggest fan base in the UK of wrestling fans. Now AEW have got that fan base because it's on free TV. Yeah. But WWE going to Netflix, I just see overtaking everyone in the UK at least.
That's fair. AEW doesn't seem to have as much screen time in Canada as WWE does, because Raw, NXT, and SmackDown are all available on free cable in Canada at this point.
Yeah,
like you can find them. AEW, I think it's just Dynamite. I don't think you have the other two shows.
So we have a channel called ITV, and they've got like ITV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Dynamite, Collision. They're all on like ITV2, which is big, and then some shows are on ITV1, which is like your free channels are all on the free channels.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's literally I can set my box to record it and watch it whenever I fancy.
Fair. Yeah.
I've lost interest in Tony Khan.
I'm slowly losing interest in AEW, mostly just because of how good TNA has been.
That's fair. That really is fair.
My time is, like I only have so much time to watch wrestling every week.
Yeah. Until this is our full-time job.
Yeah. One day. But anyway, I think this is another good episode. We're on. It's a great start for TNA.
It is. It really is.
So everybody, like, share, subscribe. We'll be back for Explosion. And we'll see how that goes.
Peace out.
Have a good one.